Guys, let's continue with Bhagavad-Gita, the highest knowledge which must be taught before anything else in this world. So eyes need to be closed in order to fight. There should be a struggle to fight. There should be no facility for inspection. Even if one does not know the Gita, the person who understands the principle of observation will be able to say on this very formula that this person is not trustworthy. This man will be of no use in the war. This is for Arjuna. This man can withdraw from war, because when you see it, everything will seem so useless. Whoever observes everything will seem so futile, so useless to him, that he will say to leave the war. What Arjun is saying is a great symbol of his mind. He is clearing his mind in this sutra. Arjun is not saying that I am eager for this war. My charioteer, take me to the place from where I can destroy the enemies properly. Arjuna is not saying this. This is what needs to be said. But Arjuna is saying, take me to that place from where I can see who has come to fight, how eager they are for this war. Arjuna wants to observe. This observation shows that this man is a man of ideas, and the man of thoughts will be in a dilemma. Either those who are thoughtless can wage a war like Bhima, Duryodhana, or a war can be waged by those who are thoughtless like Krishna. When the idea of thinking comes, it is in the middle of the above two categories. So the Bhima and Duryodhana are thoughtless because of some other reason, and Krishna is thoughtless because of some other reason. So for Bhima and Duryodhana, you can say it's called as, there is no word in English for that, it's called like Vicharheen, and for Krishna it's called as Nirvichar. These are the three things. Thoughtlessness is the state before thought. War is very easy. There is no need to do anything for war. In such a state of mind, a man is bound to be in war. Even if he loves, love proves to be his war. Even if he loves, it ultimately results in hatred. Even if he makes friendship, it only proves to be stepping stone to enmity. Because to make an enemy, it is necessary to make a friend first. It is difficult to make enemies without making friends. Even if a thoughtless mind creates friendship, only enmity results in the end. War is natural. The second step is of thought. Thoughts are always wavering. Thoughts are always shaking. Arjuna is on the second step. He says, let me observe, see, understand, then enter into the battle. Has anyone ever entered into a war with understanding the world? By watching and understanding, one can run away from the war. One cannot enter into the war after seeing and understanding. And Krishna is on the third step. This state is the state of thoughtless nirvichar. There are no thoughts there either, but that is not being without thoughts, vicharheen. Thoughtless, nirvichar, and no thought, vicharheen, due to wrong confidence. Like vicharheen is due to wrong confidence. When you have full confidence but you are wrong. They seem to be the same, but there is a fundamental difference between them. Nirvichar, thoughtless, is one who, after realizing the futility of thoughts, has transcended and gone beyond. Thoughts should show the futility of everything: life, love, family, money, the world, even war. Thoughts show the futility of everything. But if one goes on thinking, then in the end the thought shows the futility of even thinking. And then the man becomes thoughtless. Then in the thoughtless nirvichar, everything becomes possible exactly as it was possible for one without thoughts, vicharheen. But the quality changes completely. So, sometimes you think that you think a lot, and then also you realize that even the thinking was a waste. Later in future you realize that I wasted a lot of time in thinking. I came to the same conclusion. but that's not the same. But some person who has wrong confidence and is not thinking, so that person is different. So both seem same, but they are different. Like a small child, when someone attains sainthood till old age, then he again becomes like a small child. But the similarity between a small child and a saint is only superficial. The eyes of the saint also become innocent like those of a small child. But everything is still suppressed in the small child. Everything will come out now in the future. That's why the little child is like a volcano. It hasn't burst yet. That's all. His innocence is superficial. Everything is ready inside. Seeds are forming and bursting. So this is a very great example. Like when you will know, then maybe you will get angry, like you are not on the wrong side, so that's why you have full confidence. That's why Jesus has said that when someone asks Jesus, who will inherit your kingdom of heaven? So Jesus said, those who are like children. Jesus did not say that those who are children, because children cannot enter. Those who are like children, that is, those who are not children. One thing is confirmed, those who are not children but are like children. If children enter, then there is no difficulty. Everyone can enter. There is no restriction. No, children will not enter, but those who are like children, who have crossed the level of ignorance after all the running. Therefore, there is a great similarity between the ignorant and the most knowledgeable. A highly knowledgeable person becomes as simple as ignorant person, but the complexity remains completely hidden within the simplicity of the ignorant, which keeps on appearing at different times. All the complexity of supremely enlightened person is lost. The one who is without any thoughts, vicharheen, has the power of thought. He can think, and he will think in the future. The one who is thoughtless has transcendent thought. He reached meditation, reached samadhi. The difficulty that will be present in the entire Gita is about the entire inner conflict that will be presented. Arjuna can go to war in two ways. Either he becomes out of thoughts, vicharheen, comes down to his level, like goes below, stands where Duryodhana and Bhima are standing. So these are the examples. So they were not at all, they don't have anything going in their mind. They were just completely ready. Then he can go to war. Or if he reaches where Krishna is standing and becomes thoughtless, nirvichar, then he can go to war. If Arjuna remains Arjuna, then he remains in the middle. He remains in the thoughts. Then he can go to the forest but not to the war. He will flee, he will run. So there is a next phrase that comes. Stand my chariot in such a way that I can see all these warriors who have gathered here and wish to help the foolish Duryodhana in the war. Sanjaya said, O Bharat, Dhritarashtra, when Arjuna said this to Lord Krishna, then the Lord placed the best chariot in the middle of both armies and said in front of all the kings like Bhishma, Drona, O Arjuna, look at these Kauravas gathered. In both the armies, Arjuna saw his father, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, son, grandson, peers, father-in-law, friends, all his relatives. Seeing all those relatives ready for war, Arjuna felt great pity for them. Feeling upset, he said this to God, Krishna. Arjuna said, O Krishna, seeing these sons, grandsons, relatives present with the desire to fight, my body is becoming weak, my mouth is dry, my body is trembling, my hair is standing on the end with fear and sorrow. Arjuna is not suffering from war, nor is he anti-war. He also has no interest in non-violence. The teaching of his whole life, the culture of his whole life is for violence and war. But it is worth understanding that the more violent a mind is, the more mind is filled with affection. Violence and selfishness live together in someone. The non-violent mind goes out of attachment, so they get separated. In fact, one who wants to be non-violent has to give up the feeling of mine. The feeling of mind in everything is in fact violence. Because as soon as I say mine, whatever is not mine begins to separate. As soon as I call someone a friend, I start making someone an enemy on the other side. Just as I draw boundaries of my own people, I also draw boundaries of others. All violence arises from the boundary drawn between oneself and the others. So after Bhagavad Gita, you will become like everyone is mine, like enemy and friend and everything is mine. You won't be separating with these kind of boundaries. Therefore, Arjun becomes relaxed. His body parts became weak, not because he became distressed in war, not because he saw anything bad in the violence taking place, not because some sudden attraction for non-violence was born in his mind, rather because the other aspect of violence from within him, the deeper aspect of violence, the fundamental basis of violence, has captured his mind. Attachment has captured his mind. Motherhood or attachment is violence. If you do not understand this, then it will be very difficult to understand the entire Gita. To those who could not understand this, it seemed that Arjuna was inclined towards non-violence. Krishna inclined him towards violence. Krishna would not want one who is inclined towards non-violence to be inclined towards violence. Even if someone is inclined towards non-violence, even if Krishna wants him to be bending towards violence, Krishna won't be able to do that. But Arjuna is not inclined towards non-violence at all. Arjuna's mind is stuck at the deep base of violence. This is the basis of violence. He saw his own people, loved ones, relatives. If there were no loved ones and relatives, Arjuna could have slaughtered people like sheep and goats. Since it was ours, it seemed difficult to cut. Had it been a stranger, then there would have been no difficulty in cutting. And non-violence arises only in the mind of the one whose own and alien have been destroyed. Arjuna, his mind became distressed not because of attraction towards non-violence, but because it reached the very basis of violence. Naturally, at such a moment of crisis, the basic foundation of violence was revealed to Arjuna. If there would have been strangers on the opposing side, Arjuna would not even know that he was violent. He may not even realize that he has done something bad. He would not even realize that war was irreligious. His gait would not have been relaxed. Rather, his gait would have become more tense after seeing strangers. An arrow would come to his bow. A sword would have come in his hand. He would have been very happy. But he became completely sad. In this sadness, he saw the root cause of the violence in his mind. He saw it. He saw affection in the moment of crisis. It is surprising that often we are able to see the depths of our minds only in the moments of crisis. In ordinary moments, we are not able to see the depths of the mind. We live ordinary lives in the ordinary moments. In extraordinary moments, what is hidden deep within us begins to reveal. You might have noticed, like guys, if you are like on the same level, you may not even think, you're just enjoying life. Only when you are in some deep situation, then only you realize this concept. Arjuna saw my people, the gruesomeness of the war, the eminence of the war. The war was about to begin. Then he saw my people. If Arjuna had said, war is futile, violence is futile, then the book of Gita would not have been produced. But he said his own people are gathered. My limbs go limp at the thought of cutting them. In fact, it is absolutely natural for someone who has built the building of his life on his loved ones, that his body parts should become weak at the moment of cutting them. If death happens nearby, it does not affect our heart. We just say the poor guy is dead. When it happens at our home, then we are not able to handle it by saying so much. Then it touches us deeply. Because when someone at home dies, we also die. A part of us also dies. We also had an investment in that man. We had invested something in it. We also got something from his life. The man had filled some corners of our minds too. Thank you guys.